Hello, good morning. I hope you all are. Yeah, it's still morning. I nearly spent just half an hour to start the camera. Somehow, I misunderstood the concept and it was taking very long time. But again, it was when I was trying to deal with it, and I was like, why it's not working? But then I just realized that it might be one of the bugs that I get when doing a programming. So I thought, okay, fine, let's think it from that point of view and try to figure it out. And then it worked. And I got to realize that why it's not working, in what condition it will work. Similarly, I went through the docs, I watched some videos. This there was one video which said that okay, there are four things that you need to try to make your webcam work with the OBS, and none of the four things worked for me. So I had to figure out another way, which was quite simple actually, but yeah, I missed it. Uh, Before starting a program or the tech discussion, I want to talk about tech environment that I'm very, that I'm very concerned about, and I'm very kind of bit insecure when it is not happening the way it should happen. So, being a woman in 30s, uh, it's hard to keep your attention only in tech. And why it's hard? It's not because I or a woman don't want to do that. It's a lot because of the surrounding. Like when you get up from the bed, nobody expects, at least in an Indian family, to make a like from a man to make a breakfast or to even think about the cooking. I'm sure when my husband gets up from the bed, he doesn't think at all about it. And he tells me also that why you're thinking all those things. You just think when you're gonna eat. At that time, whatever you can cook in an hour, or we can cook in an hour, we will think about it that time. But you don't need to invest that energy now in the morning when you just got up from the bed. And this is the default, or I will say that this happens to women a lot, and especially after marriage, because we have been still grown up in a surrounding where uh, this kind of things are expected from us. But I have changed that rule in my family. I don't make breakfast. I make breakfast only when I want to do it, and not when everybody expects. Because before I am married from past 2 years, how things were working before that, right? They must have something, their own ways of making breakfast or their own ways of cooking food or anything. What changes when I come, right? Yeah, I'm an order add-on. I can help, but I'm not here to take entire house responsibility and forgetting about my own life that I want to do it. So yeah, every day in the morning when I get up, I have to remind myself that I should do what I like. Though I like cooking, I like to do everything, but not in that way. Not in that way that it's gonna pull me back in my professional career or in my other choices that I would like to do, and I will regret in some after some years in my life that I could have done that, and why did I just think about the food all the time. Now even my mom even tells me what to think about the food. Earlier I used to get annoyed at her, like, why do you always think about cooking, why do you always like ask me question like what do you want. Now I understand that question. Whenever I go home, I tell my mom, I want you to enjoy for 2 hours without thinking what you want to cook. At 11 o'clock, I'll tell you what we will cook, and we will just cook. That period of 2 hours, not thinking and just doing what you want to do is very important. And that's the way you slowly move towards your own goals and not only towards your cooking. So I'll say that life of tech after marriage and how to handle it is is bit different for women. And because we are conditionally in our brain, we have been, you know, uh, accustomed to think about our traditional house thinking. By now my in-laws knows that she's not gonna think, and which is okay because it's fine. That is how I am. That doesn't make me bad person, but I don't want to think. You hire somebody else whose job is that. I want to create other part of my life, and that's why I'm here on video call and sharing the things. So you think about it if you're facing such challenges, that how to manage the tech in the house. Majorly it's about creating a boundaries, and to make it clear to other people also that this is it, this is what I want to do, that's it. And you will get lots of doubts and, you know, maybe like lots of criticism for this. It's okay, let them do it. But in the beginning, be sure that you did it. Whether everyone is happy or not, that is not your job. So you have to take that step and forget about what are the consequences, as long as you are not getting affected to do that. So yeah, that's it. And now let's start about, I want to share something. Cool. Okay, I'm still figuring out how things works. Yes. Okay, let me take the out the things. Now it is getting captured. Okay. Oh, I told you, right? I was watching some of the apps. Let me see if I have paid my bills. Okay, that's my mom. Since my mom has learned to send messages on WhatsApp, she keeps sending loads and loads of messages. And that too in Gujarati, which I can't read. Okay, this is my app actually, and I'm working on this app. I'll show you what it does. Mm, So one of the thing that that my partner made me do is typing. He made me do the typing practice when I was learning to code. Okay, this is my app, and then it simply moves. I'm very bad in, like, I don't like to immediately plan out the UI. I like to just do the logic part first. So it's basically, waiting for it to load, and once it has made a call to the server, it sends all the Star Wars character and displays it. The point, uh, the initial delay that is happening. One, two, three. Okay, 2 seconds. Okay. I'm doing that delay with lazy loading in React. Now, because it's a TypeScript, I have to do it in certain way so that it returns a promise. Plus, like, I want a delay of 5 seconds. So sometimes what happens that my uh, I want to show the previous animation because it's a starting screen that it is something is loading and it's like a Star Wars characters that is loading. So I got that thing from one of the code pen. I should tag that person name. I'll find it out and I'll put it actually. I mean it's there. Who has I have simply taken the code and let me just close it. So yeah, and I am showing the suspense, and then I'm showing the character list. Cool. So this is what happening. So why I am making this, like uh, this is one of the challenge given to me by my partner. He always gives me one step harder. So I fail in one of the interviews of async, like which include the promises, and I thought I told him, and then he's like, okay, there is one perfect app which will actually show you how to use promises. So one of the question that even though I read about the promises, what it does, it takes resolves and reject, and you know you can resolve it or reject it based on the, and then you make a network call. If it's successful, you resolve it and reject it. He asked me one question, like, have you ever returned a promise from somewhere apart from Axios or Fetch? Have have I done anything like that? It 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 just made me think that no, I have not. And that gave him a complete idea that how much I know promise. Just knowing the definition was not enough for him, or utilizing was not enough for him. He wanted me to be champing the promise, like, okay, yeah, this thing well. So now if somebody asked me today, like, have you ever written a code which returns a promise, I can say that yes, I have written a code which returns a promise in React free lazy mode. So uh, that's what I mean when that's what it means when you learn a concept. Apart from learning a basic use of it, that concept is not only made for that thing. It is more ingrained into a lot of different coding patterns or coding style that you already know, and you have to add it into it and to understand. That is actually a real learning of programming concept, and that only happens when you actually code and build some app or something like that. So yeah, this is my app just to do the practice of uh, promises.